Sometimes I think people wonder how I can have such dichotomies in my life. In some parts of my life, I'm all about spirituality, hanging out with my grandfather, love, and another part of my life is all about sexuality and pornography, things like that. My main client being one in the adult industry that I do promotions for. Well, I had a bunch of conversations this week in Vegas where there were trade shows going on for the adult industry. And as I talked through them, I realized I think I understood a lot better for how, in my mind, they're very much go together. And that is one of the main focal points of what I see to be my art, which is also my life, is that of living actively as opposed to passively. And years ago, I went to a swingers convention. And the thing that struck me is like, no matter what these people were into, the main thing they had in common is that they chose that actively. They did not, once you cross the line into deviance, whatever that might be, then you have to define your own boundaries, define your own likes and dislikes, define your own rules. I think the vast majority of people simply accept rules or have rules imposed upon them. It's this passive living. Whether or not we even know that it's happening, we passively accept what's cool, what's not cool, what's attractive, what's respectable, what's to be ridiculed, what's to be shunned, what's to be embarrassed about. And in the realm of sexuality, the people that are deviant are often the ones that have crossed the line and are now living in an active state, at least in their sex lives. So it almost has less to do with the sexuality and more to do with the making this active choice, making this living in this state of, yes, this is something this is something that I'm choosing is within my realm of acceptability. Not what the society told me, not what the political people told me, not what my church told me. This is what, in my realm of experience, I'm okay with this, or I like this, or this is what inside of me, I desire this. I've always told people that one of the things that I absolutely love about pornography is that for some, it's the only time in their life when they're really being true to themselves. You can fake it in your life, you can fake it with your friends, you can fake it at your job, but you can't fake what turns you on. When people buy pornography, they buy what gives them an erection. You can't fake that. So for some people, it's like the first step towards listening to yourself, your true self, listening to what you really want, actively listening, being actively choosing things in your life. So as I go through my life and I try to be active in everything I do, maybe even blatantly slow, flaunting the fact that I'm choosing that, I recognize that a pink fur bike or pink hair or many of the wackiness things that I do are a little outside of what is acceptable, quote unquote. And that's because what is acceptable is what has been handed to us, what we accept passively. And dear Lord, we only have a handful of decades to be on this planet. Why would we? Living like that is like turning on the TV and then throwing away the remote, saying, well, this is what's on now. Sweet. Well, this is what the network programmers say I should like, so I'm going to like it. That's ridiculous, and you shouldn't do that with your life. I guess a goal in my art, when I say my art, I mean pretty much the way I live my life. I view my life as my art, and I think everyone should. I think when people ask, well, what do you do? I go, well, I'm an artist, as are we all. But maybe that's not true. Maybe being an artist, in my mind, is merely actively making choices, actively living. I learned that from Duchamp. Duchamp looked at a urinal and then made the active conscious choice. This is a creative act. I am deciding that this is a creative act. It isn't anything more than the consciousness of it that makes it a creative act. And if we can all in our lives start to make that conscious choice, then we are living as artists. And the realm of sexuality attracts me so much because it's almost like the easiest realm in which to see that choice. because there are so many restrictions on our sexuality. So when you start to actively choose your sexuality, be vocal about it, embrace it, then it's almost like training wheels to live actively in the rest of your life. So at least that's how I am starting to see all these realms of my life as being very similar. I hope that makes sense. That being said, I need to apologize to anyone who does not feel, whether actively or passively, that sexuality should be expressed as overtly as I tend to do. Hopefully you have no problem hitting your back button or not clicking on links. So I appreciate your patience and your understanding and your support as I try to live actively, as I try to live as an artist, and I certainly hope that you are doing the same, and if anything I can do to support you in your artistic journey, just let me know.
You only live once. Enjoy the color.